Yes, the PDF is there in the description as well as in the chat for the theory marathon. Everyone, welcome to ArivuPro YouTube channel. All the very best for your today's examination. What examination? Our examination, quantitative aptitude examination. I hope that everyone is prepared minimum for 70 plus marks. Okay, how much? Minimum 70 plus. Okay, it's good. And always make sure that you don't get any negative marking. Make sure that if you know the question only, go for the answer. No inky pinkies. As I always say, never do inky pinky ponky. It will not give you marks. The chances of getting a negative mark is higher than chances of getting a correct answer. So everyone, good morning. Yeah, we are going to start off. Now, we are going to start with some past question papers and we will be using those questions and we'll be going forward with the marathon. Yes, thank you for coming and I hope that this session will help you just like all the other sessions we have done. My name is Nithin. Welcome to our today's lecture. Now, first one, a variable with qualitative characteristics is called as what? Qualitative characteristics means what? It should be with respect to attribute. Remember that qualitative character is along with it will be what? Attribute. Then accuracy and consistency of a data can be verified by scrutiny. If you do the scrutiny, you can find the accuracy as well as the consistency of the data. The most important question, the leftmost part of the table providing description of the row is called as what? Stub. Okay, remember, leftmost part of the table is stub. Yes, good morning, all the best everyone. Yes, you should pass, everyone should pass. What time the class will end? It will get over in like 40 minutes, it will get over. Okay, then mode can be obtained using, I always say that mode means histogram. Remember, all the time I used to say that a spoiler is there, this question will be there for exam. Mode is found using what? Histogram. While median and our partitions are found using what? Partitions are found using ogive or ogive or ogive, whatever you call it. Okay, then the most commonly used distribution is called as the bell-shaped curve. Yes. Then, which of the following is suitable for cumulative frequency distribution? Answer is what? Ogive. Why? Because ogive is drawn using less than cumulative frequency as well as the more than cumulative frequency. That's how you get a ogive. And they will meet at a point. That point is called as what? Median. Then sweetness. Sweetness is a quality, right? So it is an attribute of a dish. Option A is your answer. Should we shade HB pencil? Yes, use HB pencil only for shading. Don't use anything else. Okay, yes. Next one. Data collected on religion from census report. That means the census report is the direct report which you are having as a primary data. From the primary data, you are collecting a secondary data. So the data collected from census report or internet or whatever other source is called as what? Secondary data. Then which of the following diagram is most appropriate to represent various heads in total cost? So whenever we are doing questions based on what? Pie charts. You remember the formula was what? X divided by sigma x into 360 degree. That means we are including the total cost over there. The total cost is already there in the denominator. So answer is what? Pie chart. Option A. All the best everyone. Let's clear this attempt. Yes, think that this is your last attempt and go ahead and clear it off. Then in graphical representation of data, ideograph is also called as what? Pictograms. Keep a note of it, a new question, pictograms. Then dash means separating items according to similar characters. Okay, grouping them into various classes. What type of is that? A classification. Then frequency density of a class interval is the ratio of frequency of the class interval to the corresponding class length or the class width. We have discussed this in our marathon. Now the next one, a graph that uses vertical bar graphs to represent data is called as what? Bar graphs. Yes. Now going to 21 here. A national institute arranged students in accordance with different states. This arrangement is called as what? Geographical data. Why is it geographical data? Data based on area or location. Everything will come under what? Geographical data. Temporal means what? Time related data is called as, or chronological is called as what? Temporal data. Then multiple axis line chart is considered when are we considering multiple axis line chart? If there is no or more than one time series and unit of variables are different. Whenever the unit of variables are different, I mean the units are different, you can usually use what a multiple axis graph, line graphs. Then sweetness is what it is an attribute. Then what is following is which of the following is not a mode of presentation of data? External presentation is not a, or do you know any presentation like that? Did we discuss that? No. There is textual representation, there is tabular representation, there is diagrammatic representation. Other than that, are we presenting using external presentation and all? No. Hi. Then we get dash by plotting cumulative frequency. When you plot cumulative frequency, what do you get? You get ogives. We already discussed less than and more than ogives. I mean less than and more than cumulative frequency. When we plot them, we will get what? Ogives. And the ogives will meet at what point? They will meet at the median. It is used to find what and what? Median as well as partitions. Now, the types of research data are, research data, for example, some people are doing research. That type of data is what? A qualitative data and as well as quantitative data. Histograms are drawn only when, very important, another question based on histogram. Chances are there. Histograms are drawn only when class intervals are equal. That means we should make sure that the class intervals are equal. For example, what it should be like, say 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. Likewise, it should be there. Then which of the following is a source of primary data? Government records. So government records means it's already there. From that, if you look into it, is it primary? No, it's secondary. Research articles, the data is already there. We are referring to that and we are getting the answer. That means it is not primary. Journals, it's already there. Questionnaire filled by enumerators, that is a primary data, direct data, right? Then which is the left part of the table providing the description of rows? Again repeated, answer is what? Option C, stub. Then ogive for more than type and less than type distribution intersect at their point. What point? I told you they will intersect at what point? Median. Option B is your answer. Then the mode of presentation of data are which all? First one, look at option A. Option A is like textual, diagrammatic and internal presentation. Internal presentation, have you heard about that? No. Tabular, textual and internal presentation. Have you heard about internal presentation? No. Tabular, textual and diagrammatic presentation. That's your answer. Then for tabulation caption is, what is tabulation caption? In tabular, I told you when we are creating the table, the caption is called as what? The upper part of the table. The upper part of the table is called as what? Caption. Then what does an ogive curve represent? The cumulative frequency and class boundary. Yes. Then by plotting cumulative frequency against respective class boundaries, we get what? We get ogive. Another repeated question. I am telling you, there is high chance that this question will be there in your examination. Question based on ogive. Okay. Now, in a cumulative frequency curve, what is represented in the y-axis? Now, you tell me. Y-axis, x-axis is there. Then x-axis is there. Then y-axis is there. Correct. In a cumulative frequency curve, what is represented in the x-axis is the question. Answer is cumulative frequency. So, in x-axis, what is represented? Cumulative frequency is represented. Then in a frequency distribution, the relative frequency is nothing but the ratio of class frequency to total frequency. If you want percentage frequency is what? Percentage frequency, I'll write it here itself. Percentage frequency is nothing but relative frequency into 100, or you can write it as class frequency, or frequency divided by total frequency into 100 is percentage frequency. Then the frequency density of corresponding to a class interval is a ratio of, we already did this. What is our class frequency to class length or class width? That is nothing but what? Frequency density. Then a perpendicular drawn from the point of intersection of two ogives. Where do they intersect, people? They will intersect at their median. People, look here. There is no option called as median, but there is an option called as second quartile. Second quartile, Q2 is what? Q2 is nothing but our median. Q2 is our median. Then what else is our median? D5 is our median. Then what else is our median? P50 is our median. P percentile 50 or decile 5 or 5th decile or 50th percentile is also what? Median. Now, a less than ogive curve is drawn by plotting what? Less than cumulative frequency on the vertical axis. Then an ogive is used to represent what? The number of data points falling below a specific value. Then, according to the empirical rule, if the data formed a bell-shaped distribution, then the maximum and minimum frequency occur at their middle and end respectively. Maximum at their middle, minimum at their end. Why? It is called as what? Bell curve. Bell curve looks like what? Bell curve looks like this. So the maximum occurs at what point? Their mid value, and the minimum occurs at their what? End point. These are the ends, right? Yes, that's the meaning. Then, which sampling is based on discretion of the sampler? Which sampling is based on the discretion of the sampler? What type of sampling is that? Purposive sampling is based on that. Harmi, good morning. Hello. Hello, Manaswini. Everyone, good morning. Kamali, good morning. Yes, Suma, good morning. Joel, good morning. Everyone, good morning. Do well, people. Yes, make yourself proud. Okay, then which of the following is not a type of sampling? Standalone. Have you heard about any sampling like that? No. Probability sampling is there, non-probability sampling is there, mixed sampling is there, but standalone sampling is not there, which is not a type of sampling. Then secondary data is collected by what? Secondary data is collected by, some of the options are there. Interview method, it's like direct method. Directly I am talking to Hrithik Roshan, that is an interview, that is primary data. Then mailed questionnaire method, I am directly asking the person itself and getting the answer, that is also primary data. Observation method, a person is going there and observing, it's a type of primary data. International source like World Bank, the World Bank has their data and we are looking into that data, that is what? A secondary data. Then exit polls are a sample of which method collecting of data. Sorry, exit poll is what type of sampling is the basic question. Answer is what? Random sampling. Randomly they are going to people and they are asking question. Then the distribution of commuters coming to a metro station from early morning hours to peak morning hours follows which type of frequency distribution? They follow what type of frequency distribution? Early morning, then a dip will happen, and then again it will go up. What type of curve is that? J-shaped curve. Then what is the range of a data set? This is the difference between what is range. Range is nothing but largest minus smallest. That is the highest minus lowest value of a data set will give you what? A range. Option A is there. Yes, by fear when Nithin Sir is here. Next one. Series in which frequencies are continuously added and corresponding to each class interval in the series is what? What do you mean by the cumulative frequency? For example, X values is there, then F values is there. Or I will write it as class interval values, 10 to 20, then 20 to 30, then 30 to 40. Like, then frequencies are 5, 4, then 2. Then they are telling frequencies are continuously added. What do you mean by that? Frequency should be continuously added and written according to their, with respect to their class interval. So first one is 5. 5 plus 4 is how much? 9. 9 plus 2 is how much? 11. That type of frequency is called as what? Cumulative frequency series. Then ogive can be used for making what? Short-term projection. Remember this, very important. Ogive. So what all things we know about ogive? Ogive, it is used to find median as well as partitions. So less than ogive and more than ogive meet at their median. Then it is used for what? Short-term projection. In ogives, in the x-axis, what is represented? In the x-axis, what is represented? In the x-axis, the cumulative frequencies are represented. Then the numerical data presented in a descriptive form is called as what? Textual representation. They will be using text to represent data. For example, the company is having a profit of 45,000 rupees. That is a textual data, right? Then what type of data is most appropriate for representing using a pie chart? Category based data. You remember many questions we have done based on pie chart. There it was always like either income tax will be there, then other type of profit is there. Likewise, different data are there. So it is category wise. Okay, so it will get over in like 20 minutes. Vanakkam, namaskaram, namaskara. Yes, many people are there. All the best people. Keep the energy high. Go for the exam. Do well. Then, what is the purpose of stratified random sampling? What do you mean by stratified sampling? We are converting it into different strata and we are taking the sample. Look here. Divide the population into subgroups and then randomly sample from each subgroup. That means, for example, in this country, there are different states. In this different states, there are different districts. In this different districts, there are different small municipalities and panchayats are there. Different small groups are there. Likewise, if you are taking the sample from small groups, then it is called as what? It is called as stratified random sampling. In tabular presentation of data, stub is what? Left part of the table. High chance for this question this time. Left part of the table which provide description of the rows. Then ogive is used to find what? Median. Then standard error. Standard error is inversely proportional to what? Inversely proportional to number of sample size, root of n. Okay, remember that it is inversely proportional. This was one of the early stage questions. Yes, love you too guys. Yes. Then non-probability sampling is also known as what? Purposive or judgment sampling. Okay, purposive or judgment sampling is also called as what? Non-probability sampling. Which sampling technique is most appropriate when a person wants to ensure the subgroups are proportionally represented? All the subgroups are represented in which one? Stratified sampling. I hope that is done. With that, we are going to the past May attempt question paper. Yes. Now, frequency density corresponding to a cumulative class interval for continuous frequency distribution is with a ratio of what? Class frequency to class length. Okay. Then the curve obtained by joining the points whose x coordinates are the upper limits and of the class intervals and y coordinates are corresponding to cumulative frequencies is called as what? Ogive. Yes, y corresponding y coordinates are represented using what? Ogives. I think there last time I mentioned x-axis. Sorry for that. Yes, so class intervals are represented in what? X-axis, while cumulative frequencies are represented in the y-axis. It is called as what? Ogive. Then mode is found using what? Histogram. Mode is found using what? Histogram. Then which of the following statements about simple random sampling is not true? So in simple random sampling, ensures that each unit in the population has an equal chance of being selected. Yes, simple random sampling is saying that. Then, in simple random sampling with replacement, each selected unit is replaced to the population before the next unit is drawn. That is also true. Then, in a simple random sampling without replacement, a unit is selected and it will never be selected again. Without replacement, it will not be selected again. That is also true. Which is not true? You tell me. Simple random sampling is highly effective when the population is very large and heterogeneous. If the population is very large and if they're heterogeneous means too much type of data sets are there, that means simple random sampling is not effective there. So that is the wrong statement about it. Now we are going to the next one. A frequency curve which starts with minimum frequency and then gradually reaches the maximum frequency at the extreme level is known as what? J-shaped curve. So what is happening? A frequency distribution start with the minimum frequency then gradually increases. What type of curve is that? J-shaped curve. Then law of statistical regularity say that a large sample drawn at a random from population would possess the characteristics of the population on an average. Another important question from sampling. Then tabulation. Source of data is what? Footnote. Source of data is footnote. Then leftmost part is called as what? Stub. Yes. Then topmost part or the caption or the column heading is where the caption. Basically that's the thing. Now we are going for next one. From the records of sizes of shoes sold in a shop, one can compute the following to determine the preferred shoe size mode. I told you in retail market, whenever something is sold the most number of time, that is the preference. So answer is what? Option C, mode. Which of the following does not possess mathematical property? Which does not possess the median? Does not possess mathematical property, because we are just taking the middle value. That's all right. In which of the two? Another question which we already solved. Yes, you know that. Then combined harmonic mean formula, we already solved that day before. In which of the, if there are three observations 15, 20 and 25, then the sum of the deviation of the observations from AM is how much? 0. This also we told that. What did I tell you? If sigma x minus x bar will always be equal to how much? Will always be equal to 0, or sigma f into x minus x bar is equal to how much? Which will always be equal to what? 0. Sum of their deviation is always how much? Which will always be equal to what? 0. If the AM and GM of 10 observations are both 15, then the value of HM is also what? The value of HM is equal to 15. Then if two variables A and B are represented by C is equal to AB, GM of C is equal to what? I told you combined GM. That time I represented using GM of XY can be written as what? GM of X into GM of Y. So answer is what? Option C. Then, which is not a measure of central tendency? Range is not a measure of central tendency. Range is what? It is a measure of dispersion. It is an absolute measure. Remember that. Dash mean is calculated when the value in the data set do not have equal importance. Weighted average. This is the only question I discussed from weighted average. I hope that you remember from the marathon. Yes. Then median of a distribution is obtained from what? Less than type of ogive. That is the only thing given over here. That's why less than type of ogive. Histogram for what? Mode. Then which of the following measure of central tendency will be unaffected if the lowest and highest observations are removed? The extreme values. Which is least affected by extreme values? What is least affected by extreme values? The median is least affected by extreme values. Why? Because median is the middle value. Then which of the following measure of central tendency depends on the position of the observation? So median is called as what? The positional average. Remember, positional average. So median is the answer. Now we know that you tell me what is the answer. MIMO is equal to 3 MIMI. Yes. Mean minus mode is equal to what? 3 into mean minus median. One of the most important question. It can be there for your examination. So remember this. MIMO, me minus mode is equal to 3 into mean minus median. Remember that. Okay. Yes. Now, algebraic sum of deviation of set of observation from their arithmetic mean is what? 0. Yes. Sum of deviation from their arithmetic sigma x minus x bar is how much? Which is equal to 0. Then best measure of central tendency. Who is considered the best? Mean is considered the best. Then, which of the following measure of central tendency is based on 50% of the central values? Which one is that? The median is based on the 50% of the central value. Then, best statistical measure used for comparing two series, coefficient of variation. Remember it. Best measure of central tendency is mean. Best statistical measure used for comparing two series is what? The coefficient of variation or coefficient of standard deviation. Yes. Then, which one of the following is a relative measure? Coefficient of quartile deviation. Range is an absolute measure. Absolute, I'll write, if you write AM, you will think that it is arithmetic mean. Absolute measure. Then mean deviation, absolute measure. Then standard deviation, absolute measure. Then coefficient of quartile deviation is what? A relative measure. Relative measure does not have unit. Relative measure is unitless. Remember that also. Okay. Then if every observation is increased by 7 people, what do you think? Is standard deviation affected by origin? Is dispersion in general affected by origin? No. That means if I add each observation with 7 or subtract each observation with 7 or add each observation with 100, will the standard deviation change? No. Will the quartile deviation change? No. Will the mean deviation change? No. Will the range change? No. So not at all affected. There is no effect of origin. People, I am telling you, you can expect a question from this. No effect of origin on what? Standard deviation, mean deviation, quartile deviation. Then what else is there? A range. Okay. Then, which measure of dispersion is based on absolute deviation? Answer is what? The mean deviation is based on absolute deviation. Then, dash is based on all observation. Mean deviation is based on all observation. And dash is based on central 50% of the observation, quartile deviation. So, option B is your answer. Mean deviation is based on all observation and quartile deviation is based on central 50%. Which of the following is not a method of measure of dispersion? Concurrent deviation method. This is what the concurrent deviation method we are using to find the correlation coefficient. You remember in correlation and regression, we will find RCD using concurrent deviation method. Okay, change of scale. Yes. Standard deviation, quartile deviation, mean deviation, range, everything is affected by what? The change of scale. If I multiply with some value, it will change. Yes. Okay. Remember? Yes. Then mean deviation is minimum when the deviation is taken from what? The median. I told you mean deviation is taken minimum when it is taken from median and it is more when it is taken from mean. Dash is given in a given set if all the observation are same, all the observation are of same value, then the variance would be what? The 0. If all the values are same, then the standard deviation will be what? Itself will be 0. So that the variance will also be what? The 0. Then, in which of the following there is no impact of presence of extreme observations? So, quartile deviation, it is based on open-ended classification, right? Open-ended we are taking. There, if something changes in the right side and left side, will it affect it? No, it will not affect. That's if each observation of a set is divided by 10, then the standard deviation of the observation divide by 10 or multiply by 10. That means it is change of scale. Standard deviation, mean deviation, quartile deviation, everything gets changed when we change the scale. So if I divide by 10, then the standard deviation of the observation will also get divided by 10. That is 1 by 10th of the standard deviation of the original observation. Mean deviation is dash when the deviations are taken from the median. It is minimum when it is taken from the median. When it is maximum when it is taken from what? It is maximum when it is taken from mean. Then, which of the following is not a method of dispersion? Concurrent deviation method. Which of the following is an absolute measure of dispersion for open-ended? For open-ended, always remember what? The quartile deviation. Remember this open-ended distribution. What is the best measure? Quartile deviation is the best measure. Then, an event that can be subdivided into further events is called as what? The composite events. Yes, good question. Then, suppose A and B are two independent events having probability P of A not equal to 0, P of B not equal to 0, and let A complement and B complement and B complement be their complements. Which of the following is true? We know that for independent events, P of A intersection B is equal to what? P of A into P of B. Now we are going to chapter number 15. Okay. Then the theorem of compound probability states what? We know that P of B given A can be written as P of B intersection A divided by P of A. Then cross multiply it, it will become P of B intersection A is equal to what? P of A into P of B given A. Looking at that, option A is your answer. Got the point, people? Then, which of the following pairs or events are mutually exclusive? Mutually exclusive means what? Mutually exclusive means what? Mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive. What do you guys think? Mutually exclusive means what? Their intersection should be P of A intersection B should be what? 0. Student studies in school. He studies geography. Are they mutually exclusive? No. He is studying in school only, right? That means it is not true. Archana was born in India. She is a fine lawyer. What do you guys think? Archana is born in India and she is a lawyer. We will see. Sita is 16 years old. then she is a good folk dancer. Who knows? Imran is under 15 years of age and he is a voter of Delhi. Is that correct, people? It is not correct. Why? Because in order to vote in this country, how much, which is mutually exclusive? Option D. In order to vote in this country, he should be more than how much? 18 years of age. Then only he can vote, right? Yes. That means he is how much years of age? He is having 15 years of age. That means he cannot vote. That means voting and voter of Delhi and having age 15 years of age are mutually exclusive. Their intersection value is what? 0. Then which one of holds correct for any two events of A and B? What is this? P of A minus B. P of A minus B can be written as, I told you, P of only A. When we are writing P of only A, we know the general formula. P of A union B is what? P of A union B is P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Yes. Now people, now when we are considering only A, we will only include terms containing A. P of A minus P of A intersection B. So answer is what? The option B is your answer. Now, which of the following is a uniparametric distribution? Poisson is a uniparametric distribution, but people, I have another question for you. If you look here, which of the following is a uniparametric? Poisson is uniparametric. If you ask me, normal is having how many parameters? Binomial, Poisson is, what is given? Which of the following is a uniparametric, one second. What is given over here? Which of the following is a uniparametric distribution? Answer is what? Poisson distribution. Yes. Normal and binomial are biparametric. They are having two parameters. Binomial is what? Binomial is biparametric, continuous or discrete? Discrete distribution. While normal is what? The biparametric continuous distribution. Remember this, you will get a question if they are asking a question directly based on this. Okay, then in a normal distribution, mean, median, mode are what? Equal. Do you remember? The normal graph looks like a bell graph and the center value is what? Mean as well as median as well as what? Mode. So all are equal in a normal distribution. Then the mean of binomial distribution is always more than variance. Why? We know that binomial distribution's mean is how much? Mean is equal to NP. Then variance is equal to how much? Variance is NPQ. Okay. Now, when we multiply again this value with a decimal value, it will become lesser value. That's why always mean is more than the variance. Skewness of a normal distribution is what? It is 0. Why? Because normal distribution is what? It is symmetric. Symmetric means, is there any skewness? 0 skewness. Okay. Then standard deviation of a binomial distribution is what? We know that variance of a binomial distribution is NPQ. Then standard deviation will be what? Root of NPQ. Answer is option B, your answer. Next one. In a standard normal distribution, the value of mean and standard deviation are how much is the question? In a standard normal distribution, mean will be 0 and the standard deviation will be 1. Remember this. Sometimes they can ask you a question like this. What is the mean of a standard normal distribution? Answer is what? 0. What is the mean of a standard deviation of a standard normal distribution? What is the answer? 1. So option B is your answer. Then if x and y are two independent normal variates with means and standard deviation mu1, mu2, sigma 1, sigma 2 respectively, then z is equal to x plus y, which is also a normal form. People, what you can say? Now, this is actually something they are asking about, an additive property, right? Additive property of normal distribution. We know that when a normal distribution, two normal variables are added, what will happen? Their mean will become mu1 plus mu2. Mean also will get added. Then variance will also get added. Sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square. Sigma 1 is standard deviation, then sigma 1 square is variance, sigma 2 square is variance. That means that will also get added. Then we should take the root. That means standard deviation will be root of sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square. So option A is your answer. Then for a normal distribution, ratio of mean deviation to standard deviation. People, sometimes you will think that, oh, how to remember this? But you should always remember the formula which I taught you in the beginning stage of our marathons. That is what that is 2SD is equal to 2.5 MD is equal to how many QTs are there? 3 QTs are there. Remember that. Now, in normal distribution, the ratio of mean deviation to standard deviation. So, mean deviation divided by standard deviation will be equal to how much? Will be equal to 2 divided by 2.5, which is equal to nothing but what? Which is equal to 0.8. Option C is your answer. Remember that, one of the most important question. In any of the question, if they give standard deviation, I'll ask you to find mean deviation. Use this formula. In any of the question, they give mean deviation and ask you to find quartile deviation. Use this formula. Any of the question, it will help you out. Then next one is the mean deviation of normal distribution is approximately equal to how much? 0.8 sigma. That's what we did just now. Then the intersecting point of two regression lines y on x and x on y is what? They will intersect at their means. Remember, another one word important question. Regression lines meet at their means. Remember it, one of the most important question. Okay, all the best everyone, do well. The regression coefficients remain unchanged. It will not change if we shift the origin. So regression coefficient is not affected by change of origin. Then the value of regression coefficient change if we multiply or divide in sign. So sign of the regression coefficient will change if you multiply it with some values. Okay. Then if the sum of the product of the deviation of x and y from the mean is 0, then the correlation coefficient between x and y is how much? That is also 0. Then the data points x and y on a scatter diagram lie along a straight line. Then goes downwards and x values move to the left and right. The data exhibit dash correlation, imperfect or indirect correlation. Okay, yes, that means there is no positive or say imperfect, indirect. It is not a direct correlation. That's the basic meaning. Then the regression coefficient remains unchanged due to shift of origin. Chances of a question from shift of origin and scale is always there. Now we are about to end the session. It will get over in few minutes. If we plot the points of a scatter diagram from lower left to upper right, then the correlation is what? What did I tell you? When we draw a graph from lower left to upper right, then it is a positive correlation. If it is a straight line from lower left to upper right, then it is called a perfect positive correlation. If the graph is like from upper left to lower right, it is what? Negative correlation. Now if the graph is like this, once again, if the graph is a straight line from upper left to lower right, it is perfect negative. Remember, very, very important. Then another question, if it is symmetrically distributed, then the correlation is what? Zero correlation or no correlation. Okay, if it is like a circle, it is symmetric, think that there is no correlation. Remember that, people. Then Pearson's correlation coefficient is nothing but the ratio between covariance of xy divided by standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. Option A is your answer. Then Spearman's rank correlation coefficient, then R is given by what? What is the formula? We know 1 minus 6 sigma d square divided by n cube minus n. Looking at that, option A is your answer. The regression lines will be perpendicular to each other, then value of R is equal to what? 0. When regression line is perpendicular to each other, then R value is how much? 0. When regression lines are parallel to each other or one over the other, then it will be what? Plus or minus 1. Sir, profits of a company, I'll come to that. Yes, correct. It's a continuous distribution. Depends. No, it's profit of a company. It depends on the profit. If it goes up, it will go for a, usually it will represent that way. Okay. Think that it is continuous. It's a continuous distribution. Dash may be defined as the ratio of covariance. What is the answer? Pearson's correlation coefficient. If the regression coefficient Rxy of y on x is greater than unity, then the other value should be less than 1. We know that R is equal to plus or minus root of regression coefficient of x when y is given into regression coefficient of y when x is given. We know that if one of the value is greater than unity, other value should be less than unity. Otherwise, the R value will be more than unity or less than unity. That is not possible. Maximum value of R is in between what and what? Minus 1 and plus 1. So always make sure that if one is greater than unity, the other one should be less than unity. Spearman's rank correlation is a relation. Find the relationship between variables. The range of coefficient of correlation R value is in between what? Minus 1 and plus 1, including both minus 1 and plus 1. Which of the following statement is correct regarding to limit of two regression coefficient? Product of the regression coefficient must be numerically less than unity. Why? Because R value is nothing but root of product of regression coefficient. So it should be less than unity. Are you getting my point? Then in case of insurance companies' profits and the number of claims they have to pay, there exists what type of correlation? Now people, if the number of claims increases, the profit will decrease. That means it is what type of correlation? Negative correlation. Which of the following is a wrong statement? The correlation coefficient between x and y is 2.6. Can it be 2.6? No. The maximum value of R is what? Maximum value of R is equal to 1. It cannot be more than 1 or it cannot be less than minus 1. The correlation coefficient between x and y is 0.8. If we add number 10 in each, will it change the shift of origin? Shift of origin. Will it affect? No effect. Or no effect itself, I'll write. No effect. That means it will remain the change itself, same itself, that is 0.8. The cost of living index is always based on what? The weighted index number. Cost of living is a weighted index number. I think consumer price index or cost of living index, what was the formula? Sigma IW by sigma W. That formula you can use. Fisher index number does not satisfy. Circular test. Fisher is called as what? The ideal index number. Such an ideal person does not satisfy which test? Circular test. Okay, remember that. Then P10, P01 are index of 1 to 0, 1 on 0 and 0 on 1 respectively. The formula of the product of should be equal to 1. What type of test is that? Time reversal test. TRT test. Remember. Then weighted average price relatives of commodities when the weights are equal to values of commodities in the current year yields dash index number. Current year means Paget index number. Remember, Lappe takes base year quantity, Paget take current year quantity. Index numbers are not helpful in what? The identifying error. It cannot do that. We are just finding the value. That is the case. Then the three index numbers, namely Lappe, Paget, Fisher, do not satisfy which test? The circular test. Remember this, another important question. All of them, Lappe, Paget, Fisher does not satisfy what? Circular test. The major part is you remember that Fisher does not satisfy circular test. That itself will give you the answer, option D. Then the test of shifting base is called as what? A circular test. Then P0 and P1 are the prices of commodity in the base year and current year respectively. The price relative or what? The price relative is nothing but current year quantity, current year price divided by base year price. Then quantity relative is what? The current year quantity divided by base year quantity. That's your answer. Then Lappe index number is a weighted aggregative method for taking as weight. What is taken as weight in Lappe? Lappe means what? Base year quantity. Paget means what? Current year quantity. Lappe's index or Lasperis index. Sometimes you will call it that way, right? Quantity consumed in the base year. Now, which of the following methods is based on geometric mean? Remember, when I told you about Fisher, after F, which letter is there? G. That means geometric mean of Lappe and Paget. So, Bowle index number is there, right? Bowle. Yes. Before B, what letter is there? A. So, that is what the arithmetic mean of Lappe and Paget. Bole is arithmetic mean of Lappe and Paget. Fisher is geometric mean of Lappe and Paget. Which of the following is not applied for selecting an index number? Price relative, which we are not using price relative as a method for selecting index number. Okay, then we are using which all one? SAPI is there, SRPI is there, then weighted index number like Lappe, Paget, then what else is there? Our Bowley is there, Marshalls is there, then Fisher's is there, then factor reversal test is there, time reversal test is there, circular test is there, in order to check the consistency. That's the basic thing. That's what they are over here. Now, which of the following index measures the change from month to month in cost of a representative basket of goods and services of type which are bought by a typical household? What is the answer? Relative price index. So think about your household. What type of price you should think about? You should always think about relative price. That's why that's the answer. Lapid satisfies circular tester. Yes. Now it does not. Fisher's index number is called as ideal index number because it is satisfying both factor and time reversal test. Okay. Then, which of the following index is computed by taking average of base year and current year? Then Marshall's index number. Do you remember the formula for Marshall index number? P1 into Q0 plus Q1 divided by sigma P0 into Q0 plus Q1. Now, weighted geometric mean relative formula satisfied dash test, while factor reversal test is satisfied by dash. So weighted mean satisfy which test? The time reversal test, and factor reversal test is satisfied by what? The Fisher's index number. An index number constructed to measure the relative change in price of an item or a group of indexes called as what? The price index number. Direct question. Then Fisher does not satisfy which test? Circular test. Then the average of base year and current year is used in dash index number. The Marshall index number Q0 plus Q1. Remember that. Then which index number satisfy both time reversal and factor reversal? Ideal index number. Who is that? The Fisher index number. Which of the following is not a test of consistency? Unit test is a test of consistency. Circular test is a test of consistency. Then factor reversal test is a test of consistency. Then who is not a test of consistency? Square test is not a test of consistency. How many test of consistencies we are learning? 4 test of consistencies. Then, which of the following does not satisfy time reversal test? Lappe and Paget does not satisfy time reversal test. Now we are almost at the end. Yes, the value index is equal to sum of total values of the given year divided by sum of total values of the base year. For example, when I say price relative index is what? Nothing but we are adding, our simple aggregative price index. What are we doing there? We are adding all the prices of the current year divided by all the prices of the base year. Similarly, sum of values of given year divided by sum of values of the base year will give you what? Value index. Then, which of the following is a test of consistency? Which one does? Circular test concerned with the measurement of prices change over a period of years. Different period of years will come into which picture? The circular test. Then time reversal test is satisfied by whom only? Fisher's index. Then which one of the following index uses the method of average of base year and current year? What is the answer? The Marshall's index number. And the final question, the previous year question, May attempt question, that is chain index number is equal to what? The link relative of the current year into chain index of the previous year divided by 100. People, we have covered around 140-45 questions, and thank you so much. Thank you for attending. Everyone, all the very best. Do well in your examination. Make yourself proud and get that minimum 60 plus. All the very best, people. All the best. Do well. Okay. Best wishes. With love. Nithin. Okay, I'll draw one heart also. Yes. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Do well. Bye-bye. And make sure that you carry 2 calculators. Make sure that you have some lunch. Make sure that you are having the pencil with you. HB pencils are there with you. 4-5 pencils should be there with you. Then you should carry like what else like water you should carry. Then make sure that you arrive there 15 minutes earlier. That should be there. All these things should be there. Make sure that you guys are there. Yes, I'll feel confident. Great. How much can we expect from theory question? Around 15 to 20 questions can be there, because that is the pattern. Theory questions can be there. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. Take care. Okay. Yes. Bye. Yes. How many marks can we expect? Yes, Kanishk. Around 20 questions you can expect. Thank you, Kavana. Yes. Everyone, thank you so much. Do well. Make yourself proud. And one more thing, people, if they can pass, that means some people already passed the examination, then you can also pass. If they can do it, you can also do it. Believe in yourself like Shivadarshini. My name is Shivadarshini. Believe in yourself just like that. Yes. Bye bye. Take care.